The world is full of influencers. Some set out to become one, while others just changed the world and found the spotlight. This is their story.
Welcome to The Accidental Influencer, brought to you by WYLD, the world's first social currency payment card, and powered by Wild Drum, a new low-cal, guilt-free alcoholic beverage. I'm Regis Hotel, luxury lifestyle influencer and co-founder at WYLD. And on this show, I talk to some of the most inspiring people in India who went on to become leaders in their domain, but in the process, blew up on social media. Our guest today is a true icon and powerhouse in the Indian fashion industry, generally believed to be the country's first fashion stylist. With over 2 decades of experience styling some of the biggest names in Indian cinema, she has created some of the most iconic looks in the history of Indian fashion. She was a former fashion editor of Vogue India and played a pivotal role in shaping the fashion landscape in the country. Her work has been featured in Indian and international publications like Harper's Bazaar, Vogue, and Elle, and has won numerous awards for her contribution to the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, I am super thrilled to introduce you to unarguably the most influential person in fashion, Anaita Shroff Adajania. Hi, Anaita.
Hello.
It is such a pleasure to have you on the show.
The pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I knew right from the beginning that you were one of the people that I wanted on the show.
Thank you.
Because you are probably a great example, or one of the greatest examples that we've shot with of an accidental influencer.
Am I an influencer? I don't know.
We'll find out as we go on.
I think it's an accident waiting to happen.
You are totally, and we'll figure why.
Okay.
When you started off, being a stylist was not really a career choice.
No, not at all. It didn't exist.
How did that journey happen?
I mean, so for me, I always had this like magnetism or this magnetic pull towards fashion. I never knew what to do with it. I always tore things out of magazines and made files, which I don't think I ever looked at.
Right.
But it's some kind of process was going on in my head for my future. Until today, I do a lot of referencing, and I think that's what the start was. Mm-hmm. And at that time, it was like you were a designer, and there was no other option. Yeah. And I spoke to my mom, and I said, I think I'm going to go to design school, and she was like, no, you need to be a graduate.
Right.
And honestly, people were quite clueless. There was no internet, nothing to check. You just went by, what you heard. So I did a bachelor's of arts in political science.
Wow.
Helps me a lot to maneuver my way in this business.
Sure.
And then I didn't want to study anymore.
Right.
I was like, enough of this shit.
Right.
Now let's, have a good, let me get a job.
Right.
And I worked actually with an ad filmmaker, Mahesh Mathai, at his company, Highlight Video, with Srila, the producer. And I think that was my foundation. I kind of learned what goes into a shoot, how does it work. Sure. And along the way, I started styling without knowing I was doing it. Okay. So like helping a friend. My sister was my guinea pig a lot. Sherry was used for many, many shoots, haircuts, hairstyles, everything. And then slowly and steadily, I realized that there was a space for me. Okay. It wasn't commercial yet.
Sure.
It was more like, help a friend, help a designer.
Right.
And then I heard about Elle coming to India, and I was like, oh my God, an international magazine is coming to India, wow. And, I sent out some feelers, and they're like, we already have a fashion editor, but you sound like you could be the junior fashion editor.
Okay.
So I was like,
great.
Sounds grand.
Yeah.
So there I was, and started there, and very soon I was fashion director.
Right.
And at one point, in fact, I think when I was 25, I was the youngest fashion director in the Elle world. I mean, there were 25 editions or whatever. So I was quite chuffed about it. And
that's pretty
that's
great
actually how it
age,
started.
right?
And films and all happened later.
Sure.
They happened after.
And at that point, how were films being styled? I mean, when you got into it.
So at that time, a lot of the films were being styled by designers.
Right.
Which meant they made everything.
Right, okay.
Until today, I feel I'd be a shit designer.
Right.
I think I'm a decent stylist, but I'd be a shit designer.
Okay.
So the whole idea was I could take things that people had created and create looks or give them direction. Right. But if I were to draw, I mean, you wouldn't want to wear what I draw.
Right. Okay.
So I think that's the newness that I brought to the table. I was shopping all over the world, working with designers locally and helping them create something that was in my mind's eye.
Sure.
It didn't exist.
Okay. Right.
The whole idea was about freshness and creating new things.
Okay.
So that's how it started. And I think a lot of people who were also initially making all their clothes started following suit.
Right.
So now a costume designer or a costume stylist still has a distinct role, which doesn't mean they have to make all the clothes.
Sure, yeah.
You
They
know?
can source things.
But that's how it was before.
Right.
And then that changed along the way, and I'm happy it did.
Yeah, I mean, to say that you achieved a large amount of success would be an understatement.
I still don't feel very successful.
Really?
I just feel like I'm going about doing my job, and I'm so lucky, and I'm so fortunate to do what I love.
Sure,
Yeah.
but don't you think that you've gone past that stage where it is just a job anymore? You are kind of the authority in the styling world. You don't?
No,
think
I don't
so,
feel
really?
that way at all.
Wow.
In fact, the only thing that's different, I feel, as I'm aging, is that I get to choose what I want to do.
Sure. You have the leeway to
Earlier,
say no.
I felt like I had to have a job, or if someone offered me a shoot, I had to say yes because they're a big celebrity and they'd be offended. Now I don't care.
Right.
Now I might work with someone who's not even known, or someone who just excites me or piques my interest because I want to.
Sure.
You know, it's no longer just working to earn a living.
Right, sure.
Now it's to just have fun, and of course money is important.
Well, of course.
But it's not the thing.
But that's great, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're able to chase your passion and yet
Totally.
and then make money from it, and then now be at that stage where you're saying,
Yeah.
I can choose what I want to do. Yeah, I love that. I love that. But as a fashion stylist, you've always been behind the scenes, right? You've always been behind the camera. But over the last few years, people have seen you in front of the camera a lot more. You've done shows on OTT. Your social media is a great window into your life as well. How did that transition happen?
So, I think the world started with Twitter, right?
Yeah, the social media.
Yeah, and for me, I've always felt writing was a lot of pressure.
Okay.
Okay.
So 140 was great for you.
It wasn't, because I'm verbose.
Oh, right. Okay.
So, but still, I was like, am I saying the right thing? Is the tone right? Whatever. It doesn't.
Sure.
It's not a natural flow. And then Instagram came, and my life changed. I'm like, I am a visual person.
Right.
If you look at my phone, I have like over 1 lakh photographs.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I also don't clean up that much, but still.
Sure.
I constantly, and that's how I've been even before phones. I always had a camera in my bag, whatever I was doing, if it was travel, and I love taking photographs. And finally, I felt this was a place where words were minimal.
Sure.
It was all about the visual medium, and I could actually be who I was.
Right.
So I never did it with any intention of it being commercial or whether people listened to me. I put out what I liked and what I wanted to put out. There was no format to it.
Okay.
And the web show that I did with Woot happened through Condé Nast because I think they kind of saw me at a few events and realized that I can communicate. Till then they thought maybe I'm just a face behind a camera who stands there and says pose like this or do that. And that happened naturally. And I did feel very comfortable doing it.
You did?
I did.
You did, okay.
It was like us
natural.
chatting,
Sure,
right?
Yeah. It was a conversation.
I literally feel that we're just having a chat.
Right.
And that's how my chat show was.
Yeah.
And I think everyone who came on it felt that way. Also, we were in our pajamas.
Yeah, correct.
In bed.
That's the best.
I mean, like, hello,
Couldn't get better than that.
It can't get formal.
Yeah,
So,
right.
that made it very easy. And then the social media thing is, I mean, because I worked for a company, right? I always felt like somehow that I had to hide.
Sure.
The company came first, and it wasn't right for me to be a personality.
Right.
I just felt
you
that
couldn't
way.
have an agenda.
Yeah, I couldn't exactly. I didn't want to cross any lines.
Yeah.
And then I quit my job just before the lockdown.
Right.
And something happened in that lockdown where people started realizing that I'm an entity of my own.
Sure.
And that she can create natural, beautiful things. And that's how it started. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think my first big engagement was with Keristas.
Okay.
And even though I had no blow dryer, no hairdresser, they were fine with me looking the way I looked.
Right. And they just wanted that
And I just shot it at home. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, literally. Self-shot, everything, self-edited, and it's still one of my favorites.
Right.
So that's how it started, and I suddenly realized that, wow, there's a value to having an opinion.
Sure.
There's a value to having a voice. And I
Right.
think now there's a value to having some experience.
Absolutely. No, but it's not just that, right? It also helps you build your personal brand.
Yeah.
And that was a big,
Yeah.
I mean,
but it was
especially over
not
the last few years.
it was not the intention.
Sure, yeah.
That's why when we met and I said it's so accidental, this whole thing. Like when people say, what do you do? I never say I'm a content creator or I'm an influencer. Nothing. I'm just like, I work in fashion.
Sure.
I'm a stylist. And this is what I do, you know. But having said that, I have to say that there's incredible gratification in being a part of social media.
Sure.
You know?
Right.
Because you're actually directly communicating with the people that you're styling
Correct.
for, talking to.
Absolutely.
So I love it.
And you get your response and reviews instantly.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah.
But did you start creating content a long time ago? Did you start now? I mean, over the last few years, did you put out anything on Instagram? If so, what did you do? I mean, what kind of stuff were you putting
No, I
out?
think it was more personal and my work.
Right. It was just
not much about me.
Okay.
No, rarely.
Right.
Like if I felt like I was looking nice in something, I may have put up
Right,
a
sure.
picture. But it was more about what I did.
Right.
You know, the people,
Sure.
the celebrities I was styling, or the editorials, or the
Right.
covers. You know, more work.
Right.
Like I said, there's never been a plan, and there still isn't one.
Right.
So,
which is exactly the way it should be, right?
But
you
you know-
don't necessarily have to set out to.
no,
become
absolutely, and
content
it's
creator.
it's so organic. Like I remember. One day I was like, people are using hashtags. Oh, I should have a hashtag.
Yeah.
So I did
Oh,
ASA
really?
Selects, literally, okay? ASA Selects, which means like I'm endorsing it.
Sure.
Now we have people calling saying, we want to be ASA Selects. I'm like, but I have to select you.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't work that way.
Yeah, exactly. But, I'm like, if I love it,
Yeah.
sure, we can collaborate, we can do something
Sure.
together,
Yeah.
But, every day is learning.
Sure.
Right? I'm sure with
Yeah.
you feel the same.
Absolutely.
I love it like where people write to me and say, oh, we'd love to send you a bag, but then cut off your arm, cut off your hair, put it in a bag and send it to me. And I'm like, sorry, is it a gift again?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Exactly.
So I think people also need to learn that, people are doing this as a business.
Correct.
And there are rules.
Correct.
And there's etiquette. I think
Absolutely.
etiquette's very important.
Absolutely. There's a
so-
lot of things that brands kind of have to figure how to navigate this whole ocean of
Absolutely.
social media.
Yeah.
Like I've said this before as well,
Yeah.
and I say it all the time. Brands have to understand that if they're actually, for instance, working with you,
Yeah.
you have a certain sensibility. That's why they're working with you. And then they give you this 5-page
Yeah.
writer saying that this
Yeah.
is how we'd like it. And I say,
Yeah.
but this is just an ad that you're shooting. This is not me.
Correct.
And I don't want to shoot like that.
Yeah.
And so that's the advantage of coming to a
Yeah.
point where you can now say, I don't want to do it.
For me, it's the opposite. I sometimes like, can you give me a stylist?
Oh, yeah,
and they're like,
of
no. And I'm like, why? I want to be styled. I don't want to rely on my own instinct for everything.
But why
So,
wouldn't you want to style yourself? And
I get tired sometimes,
Yeah, of
Rich.
course. Okay.
I mean, it's fair,
Right. Yeah, but
But also for a change, I mean, for me, I feel growth is very important.
sure. So at least a different point of view.
Yeah, just a
would be
different
great.
point of view of how I've never seen myself,
Sure. Yeah.
And it's interesting.
Yeah. That's true.
And also for me, like, I'm very much a team player.
Right.
And I value people's opinions. I don't think that, if you're young, you don't know something, or if you're inexperienced, you don't know
Right.
something. It could be your first job, and you might have a point of view that's exhilarating.
Yeah,
you know?
a sensibility that's
exactly.
new. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm always looking for that new thing, and it's nice to see it for yourself as well.
Yeah, well, I
Otherwise, we
agree.
tend to get habituated.
Correct. And you get complacent in
Yeah.
your kind
Exactly.
of,
Yeah.
That's true. But in all this, how did this digital explosion, kind of translate for you from every perspective, right? From work perspective.
Yeah.
How did that impact?
So the first thing was like, even when I worked, at Vogue, it was all about digital content.
Yeah.
You to put out these pieces. I'm like, but I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you do this, So like, okay, can I do something visual, whatever. And you kind of get sucked into
Sure.
understanding the medium.
Right.
And I think that was a great learning
Sure.
for me. And also, my time with People Kind has kind of taught me as to who's attracted to me
Right.
and who's not.
Right.
And I'm very clear now that I put a value to what I bring to the
Sure.
table. And if you don't see that value,
Yeah.
then you must go to someone else who values themselves less.
Correct. Sure.
It's as simple as that.
I agree.
It's not
100%.
it's not about bargaining, it's not about negotiating, this is what I feel my time is worth, and it's up to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is what you just said is so bang on. you have to value yourself, assign a value to your time and effort that you're going to spend, and people have to learn to value that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you go to a surgeon and say, give me a discount?
Yeah, exactly.
No, so I mean, they're all different professions, and I think you have to value, you know, what the person is bringing to the table. That's why you're going to them, right? And if not, you know,
so be it.
Yeah,
which is fine, which is great.
Yeah.
But do you think it's opened new doors?
Are people going to think I'm crazy that I just compare a stylist to a surgeon?
I love it. This is why you need
but
to
it's
be
okay.
here.
It's okay. I just mean, what I'm trying to say is we're all different professionals.
Absolutely.
And value what you're doing.
No, but you know, it's not about comparing to other professions. It's the idea that we all take time to do things.
Yeah, it's a lot of effort. This is our
work, right? And so, absolutely. Our work is valued at our time. Totally.
Correct.
But do you think it's opened new doors for you?
Totally.
Yeah?
Totally.
In what way?
I mean, in the sense, earlier, it was all about, like, I've always called myself hired help.
Right.
As a stylist, because that is the truth.
Sure.
You know, many people believe that they are elite and they are like the celebrities. I've never done that.
Right.
I'm hired help, there to make you look good, feel good, and create something amazing. Right? So you had to wait for someone to knock on your door.
Right.
Whereas now, with social media, the door is wide open.
Sure.
And if someone else doesn't think about it, I can still create what I want.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, what happens is that as you create things that you enjoy and like, people then want to replicate that with you.
Correct.
That's the idea.
Which is great.
Yeah.
It becomes a showcase for your work.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, it's very democratic.
Yeah.
You can put up whatever you want. People can say what they want. You can like it or not like it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right.
And I think it also gives a voice to so many young designers, stylists, makeup artists, everyone.
Absolutely. Right. But, you know, your influence in the fashion industry, no matter what you just said, I know you're underplaying your achievements, but it's true, right? I mean, you've done a lot. Clearly, over the 2 decades that you've been in the industry, you've done a lot.
I think 3 now.
Is it?
I think so. I don't know. Let's not count years.
Okay.
We're young.
Let's go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We're banking on the fact that we look young. That's but do you like honestly not at this point consider yourself an opinion leader in the fashion space in India?
No, I do feel that my opinion matters. I do feel it matters. And I'm also quite conscious of the fact that I don't want my opinion to be freely accessible.
Sure.
Because, like, you know, every time there's something, oh, what do you think about it? I'm like, no, I don't think about it.
Right, okay.
You know, I don't think about everything.
Sure.
I'm also, you know, contrary to what people might believe, I'm not a huge fashion follower.
Okay.
So, for example, I don't like watch a show the second it comes out, you know, or you know, follow every collection. Not at all.
No.
I'm quite late to the party on most things.
Right.
So,
but with designers you work with and all of that.
I mean,
or
yes,
you like?
but not in an obsessive way. So no, I've never been that way.
Okay.
Even at the peak of my styling career, no, not at all. I think for me, I'm way more instinctual.
Okay.
I like to believe on my own instinct.
Sure.
And the day I doubt that will be the day there'll be nothing left. So, I don't know, I forgot what your question was. I think I went around.
The opinion leader, were you an opinion leader? So the question then would be, as a fashion director of a large publication like that, didn't you need to be on top of trends?
No, because I had to create trends that I believed were the trends.
Right, okay.
It was my instinct. So, for example, after a fashion week, a fashion month, we would literally sit with all the shows and whatever spoke to me were the trends that because we don't know what the other magazines are doing till they come out either, right?
Sure.
So that's how you work. And as a team, you know, sit together and discuss it and then come up with our stories seasonally and monthly and, you know, and that way.
Right.
Also, I think our market is very different. So, for example, if a trend is transparent, you got to say,
that's gone. That's
see ya.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Let's bring denim back.
Yeah, sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's about it's also about curating trends, like in the sense. And for me, I felt I've always had that. It's come to me very easy, whether it was Elle, L'Officiel, Vogue, any magazine I've worked with. The trend forecasting was the easiest part.
Right. Okay. Yeah. But I guess that must have been also the fun part, right? Because that's where the creative part of you comes out, right? Yeah. But now, you know, now that you started working with brands, you said you do a lot of work with brands now. How do you then pick the brands that you work with?
Um,
Do you have a filter of some sort where you say that
Again,
some I will, some I won't?
you know, for me,
some
it's
kinds?
like, it shouldn't be, I don't know, I mean, I think it's tacky, such a generic word, but it should be a good quality.
Sure.
The thought should be good.
Right.
I should like the people.
Right.
Very
Okay.
important.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Very important that I feel there's something genuine and creative,
Right.
and you know, there it doesn't
Sure.
matter then. Then money is of no consequence. Right.
Okay.
And I'm just happy to promote talent that I think deserves promoting
Right.
it. So for me, it's just what I like.
Right.
And when a proposal comes to me, then I want to, like I always say, please let me have a look at it, let me touch it, feel it,
Right.
wear it, see if I
Sure.
like it, and then it's
Okay.
always the case.
But you wouldn't do anything that you wouldn't
No.
believe or wear
No.
or do yourself?
Not at all.
Right.
No.
Right.
No. And
Yeah, that
I
should
have
be
to
at
like
least-
it.
Yeah.
That's my filter.
Sure.
I mean,
Right.
it's as simple as that.
Yeah, it's the same for, I think, for most people that actually have done good work in social media, they all have that kind of
Correct.
filter, right? They say that unless I believe in this, unless I believe in the brand or,
Correct.
you know, my sensibilities, I'm not going to do it.
But I have to say, I have noticed that a lot of people who have maybe been in this game for a while, I guess somewhere I don't know whether it's about oiling the machinery or it's greed.
Yeah.
But I do feel things falling through the cracks that I don't think they like.
Sure.
So I think it's important to maintain that.
Right.
Because like, you know, you the faith of the people that you're, you know, presenting to, don't take that lightly.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you're right. I mean, it's not necessary that, you know, you can always stick to, you know, kind of your perfect ideals.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough, right?
But at least have
some fundamental...
Be there.
Yeah.
Don't come down there. Yeah.
No, I agree. No, but you know, like for me, for instance, in fashion, there was a time when I used to only work with certain kinds of brands. Like for instance, one of the things that I do is that I have this thing that any homegrown brand that's just starting off, I will do anything to support them. And I would, you know, tell these people. I used to tell, you know, people kind of used to manage me at one point as well. So I used to tell them, any homegrown brand that needs help, I'm happy to support. And
How
promote,
amazing
you know?
is that?
And you know, so those are some of the things that, you know, you can do to kind of give back.
It's very important. Like, I mean, I can remember during lockdown, my sister and I did these lists. They were called something on Instagram.
Okay.
I forget what they were. Like you could have 12 brands. Like it was like a magazine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Guides.
Guides. Oh, yeah.
Guides.
Yeah. On
okay?
Instagram. Guides. Yeah.
Because so many people were like, you know, sitting at home and crocheting or whatever, and people do this. And the love that we got for that,
really?
right? I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. It was just so beautiful.
Right.
And like, you know, people who, and then I suddenly I'm known as the pop-up queen because I love pop-ups. And they're like, oh, you know, by the way, my mom and I have now made this a full-time business. And I'm like, that's so cool.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
So I love seeing that almost organic growth, you know, where you may have just helped a little bit. Tiny bit.
See, this is why you're an influencer, because you're inspiring people and you're influencing people, and which is a great thing. I mean,
in that way, I'm happy to be an influencer.
Yeah, I mean, like you know, at WYLD, we you know, we truly believe, every single person in our organization, we truly believe that everybody in the world is an influencer. On some level,
I agree.
You know, you impact people every day.
Absolutely.
Whether it's, you know, one follower or, you know, a million followers.
I totally agree.
And so, yeah, I mean, you're influencing a large number of people, and you know,
they're influencing me.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Every time they give you feedback, that's them having influenced you as well. So yeah. But do you now have a, you know, again, we're coming, you know, it segues beautifully into this. Do you have a way that you communicate and stay engaged with this audience of yours?
So, you know, the thing is, it can be quite consuming.
Yeah, 100%.
And I love it.
100%.
Let me just say I love it.
Yeah.
So I have to like monitor myself.
Okay.
But, you know, very often like my husband says, oh my God, please don't wake up and look at your phone.
Right.
So I always say, like, when I used to wake up and look at a newspaper, never once did you say to me, don't look at the newspaper. Can you, in your head, imagine this is my newspaper?
Right, yeah.
But it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Nobody's
and
done
I know, I also know. But it is our news, right? It is our news. And a little more. A little fluffier in there.
Exactly.
But, so I do try to stop myself, like in a car, especially if I'm not in Bombay. I'm like, put your phone down and look out. So even right now, when I just came back with Alia from the Met, when I was looking at my phone, I had such beautiful pictures that were not of the Met.
Right.
So in my carousel, I put those.
Right.
And in fact, those have resonated with people because you know, it says something interesting or whatever. So yeah, look up, look out. And also for us, Reg, it's so important to be observant.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's what we do, we're stylists.
Absolutely.
If I don't see how he is dressed or she is dressed, how am I ever going to create those characters in a film?
Sure.
So it's important to stay in touch with the world outside your phone.
No, 100%. Like, I think we're all too obsessed. And, you know, as much as we make, you know, some part of our earnings from that, it is too much.
It is.
It is definitely too much.
Yeah.
But you're right. Because for you to look out the window and tell people, this also is something I like besides fashion.
Exactly.
It's such a great thing.
Yeah.
Because people then see another side of you that maybe they don't see every day.
And I think my Instagram is a bit of a slice of life kind of feel.
Right.
It's not like hardcore commercial.
Right.
Like one day I'll be at an event, the next day I'll be on a beach, the next third day it'll be just a creature, you know. So that's how it is.
But does it affect the way you approach content creation now that you... No, it doesn't.
Not at all.
No.
Nothing has changed in my head. Yeah. Nothing.
That's amazing.
Because it has to be organic for me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not looking at it as a business.
Right.
So I don't treat it as one.
Right. Sure.
Yes, I make money off it, which is fantastic, and it's a great perk.
Yeah.
But like you said, I feel I'm lending something to it, which is why, you know, so it's all, you know, interconnected.
Sure.
But nothing's changed, no. My approach is the same.
Right. So you
I mean,
don't
I may
necessarily...
take 3 more minutes to take photographs of myself. but only 3.
Which is
Trust
fair,
me.
which is nothing.
It's like at the door, click, 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 out, you know?
Right. But with all of this, with, you know, with social media, you know, doing so much and you being so active on it, there has bound to be negativity as well.
Of course.
How do you handle that?
Not well.
No, really?
Not well.
Not well at all?
No.
What do you do? Do you
No
ignore?
one likes criticism.
No, but negativity and criticism are two different things.
Okay,
right?
so
yeah, that's that fine line.
Okay, so I put them in the same bucket a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I guess yet.
Yeah, sure.
And my instinct wants me to reply.
Yeah.
But my common sense says stop it.
Right. Right.
So I don't. And I've realized that once in a while when I've said something like, oh, you know, we should credit more people, and I'm saying it out of love, and people have gone, so I just I don't say it anymore. But I can't lie and say it doesn't affect me.
Sure.
It does. And it also affects me about other people.
Oh, really?
Like if I put up a post about you and they start saying mean things about you.
Yeah. Oh, that of course is...
I feel really bad.
Sure.
You know, and I just feel it's so unnecessary. People have so many troubles of their own in this world.
Absolutely.
Why do we have to add to it?
Yeah.
You know, make someone's day rather than breaking someone's day.
Sure.
So for me, I guess I'm only human.
Absolutely. But, you know, I guess, you know, different people try and deal with this in different ways. A lot of people used to say, ignore it because, you know, don't feed the fire.
True.
But then there are some people that that actually said, listen, we should not, you know, ignore, brush it under the carpet, you know, call them out. And, you know, like I remember Malini used to have a campaign, I think it was called Ignore More, No More.
Okay.
It was called Ignore No More.
Okay.
Where she said, you know, women shouldn't have to ignore when someone, you know, sends them a ridiculous pic.
Right.
Or stuff like that. So I guess they're two different schools of thought.
Yeah, but also for me, it's more about like, you don't know how to style, or she's like puke, puke, puke emoji. And I'm just like...
What the hell is this?
I mean, what's wrong with you, you know? But also there's a lot of malicious stuff that's out there. It's just there to malign people. And I think that's terrible.
Really? Like what kind
like,
of
you know,
stuff
they speak ill of people's personalities, you know, celebrities and stuff like that. And it keeps getting sent to us, you know?
Right.
So it's not nice.
No,
and it's not needed.
In fact, that's just ridiculous because then you're just talking about a person and
who you
not
don't
about...
even know.
Exactly. You know nothing about the person. Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, I'd be happy to be part of a campaign that says spread more love and joy, because honestly, that is what we need.
Sure, absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
And
we don't have enough of that on social media for sure.
We don't.
100%.
We really don't.
Yeah, we don't.
And the thing is, you know, we can pretend that it doesn't affect us.
Yeah.
I think it affects everyone.
Every single person.
And sometimes it could be that combined with something else that happened in your physical life that could have, you know, a stress on your mind and deep breaths.
Meditate a bit.
Yeah.
Go back to it.
Yeah, go back to it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's where we are. But like from that whole, you know, the way social media is evolving right now, Do you feel that, I mean, today a lot of people joke about this, saying that, oh, now anybody with half a fashion, a sense of style and a smartphone can become an influencer.
Bring it on, I say, bring it on.
No, but do you think it's like that? Do you really think it's like that?
I do.
Yeah, you do?
I do think it's like that.
Do you see a lot of that stuff out there and you ask, what the hell are people doing?
You know, I get tagged on so much stuff and I sometimes think, guts.
The guts
what
got balls.
guts you've got to think you can waste not just mine but anyone's time.
Yeah, but you're right, tagging you, it's a bit
I mean, you know,
overkill.
and then I'm going to go and remove that tag or whatever. Now I don't even do that.
Right.
But the thing is, no, but having said that, there is a positive side to it. Because I do believe that not everybody has the opportunity to be heard in the real business of it, right? You know, very often the business has been, has been plagued with some amount of nepotism or, you know, influence works, you know, who you know or who your parents knows works or whatever. And I've seen that happen.
Of course.
And sometimes very deserving people fall through the cracks. With social media, you get to see that. You know, so I'm talking right now to a designer in Nepal. I'm talking to a stylist in New Orleans. I would never get to meet these people. And even if I had an email box that was open, there's no way I would be reading those emails.
Exactly.
So this way, you know, there's a communication and then you continue it with the ones that you feel have potential and you drop the ones that don't. So I think it's great. And I just think it adds to the whole democratic approach of fashion, the business. And and I've always believed that, you know, language or geography should not be any reason for people to not be
themselves and put them
successful at what they do.
Have a voice, right?
Yeah,
but it's about having a voice, right? And
absolutely, and a point of view, right?
Exactly, and everyone has a point of view. Why should you not want to or have the platform to put it out there? And a great example is Urfi Javed. Right? And you did some work with that. Tell me about that.
Oh my God. So I've been a fan of Urfi's for a while. And we've been chatting on DM. Okay, that's how we know each other.
Did she reach out?
No, I reached out.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe I did.
Right.
I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, so we were chatting and in fact I proposed her as a cover girl to 2 magazines.
Really?
And they declined it. And I was like, shit, I want to do something with her. And I was like, doesn't matter, I'll do it myself. I'm going to get a great photographer, hair, makeup, whatever. And just then, Kshitij called me and said, you know, I'm going to talk to you about this top secret project. And I was like, okay, what? And I kept thinking, it's going to be a no. It's going to be something I want to say no to. And he's like, but it's, you know, and I was like, okay, say who? And he's like, what? I'm on. I'm going to do it.
And that was brilliant. The positioning was just fab. It was Abu Sandeep by,
well, the cover dress we made ourselves.
Really?
We printed stickers and stuck them on her dress because she's the DIY queen.
Absolutely.
You know? So for me, again, you know, like Kshitij is a stylist. He was a creative director on this job. It was so beautiful to collaborate with him, right? Our ideas were in sync and we could only make them bigger by being together. So the great team, you know, whether it's hair, makeup, it just, that's what I mean about like, you know, I'm very big into collaboration. And when people say, will you collaborate? I feel they've misunderstood the word.
I think you know what it means.
It means both people are coming together and gaining.
Exactly.
You know? So I think in the influence game, the word collaboration has been bastardized.
It's a whole other ballgame. It's a whole other ballgame. But how was she to work with?
She was amazing. She was so lovely, very receptive, great energy, great fun, and it was a very, very special shoot.
And of course, you made her look completely different from her, you know, kind of thing on social media, which was amazing because she's a beautiful person.
She is.
And I mean, I love the way you styled.
And I have to tell you one more thing, Reg, is it's so interesting. It's like even for that shoot, a couple of the designers that we asked for clothes said no, she doesn't suit our profile. Jewelers, designers, many people. And I was like, I said, I'm sorry for you, kind of thing, you know. And now she's being invited to all their red carpets and she's everywhere.
I see
so, you know, it's... Justice has been done. Justice has been done.
You're vindicated for sure.
And I always believed in her. And there are many such people that I believe in. And that's what I said. You know, some things you don't do for money.
You just do it because you want to do it.
Because you believe in it. You know. And
that's great. That was great. And, you know, cut straight to New York. The Met Gala. Your Alia Bhatt outfit
Yeah.
created quite the stir internationally.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? And how's the process?
Oh my God, it was beautiful. I have to say, seamless process.
Really?
I remember when Alia called me, and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the Met Gala." I was like, "Oh my God!" And it was months ago, right? And I was like, "Okay, what are we going to do?" And I researched the theme, and I got into the history of Carl, and all of that. And she said, we're going to work with Prabal, and I was like, "Great!" And we tossed a lot of ideas around, and finally it was Alia actually who zeroed in on this Claudia Schiffer bridal look. And she's like, "I like this look. I like the corset." We're like, "Yeah, but it has to be much more."
Yeah.
And then, pearls are such a dear thing, so we added the pearls. And I was like, "We need drama," so we added a trail. And she's like, "Are you sure? Let's make it." I'm like, "No, we need drama.
Met Gala is all about drama.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's how it was. And then, curating the jewelry. I worked with Malabar and Alice Ciccolini. And we actually created pieces that she wore.
Right.
And then Outhouse came in with the amazing glove. And... we put the look together, and it was all pretty, and everything was fine, and we were ready. And I was like, "I'm missing something.
Okay.
We need something more." And I'd got these long strands of pearls with little spikes from Outhouse for her hair.
Yeah.
And we were like, "But it's pretty. I don't know." Yeah. And then we started playing. Mike was doing the hair and me, and we kind of came up with a bow shape.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, and I just pulled out a needle and thread and literally stitched it, and he put it in her hair, and now that's become such a talking point,
exactly.
So and then she had her beautiful score shoes encrusted in pearls that gave her height and poise. So it was picture perfect.
Yeah, it was great. What an experience that must have been, right? Yeah. So what was that experience, outside of the red carpet?
So it was very calm.
Yeah.
Because we were a very cohesive group of people.
Right.
Everyone's opinions mattered, and everyone's opinions were correct.
Right.
We also shot pictures with Greg Swales, who's my old favorite.
Sure.
And great energy, and ready on time, walk down on time. And that the whole energy at the Carlisle when you leave, it's like the who's who of Hollywood and the music industry are lining up to leave.
Right.
You just happen to be in that queue, and it's a cute little hotel.
Right.
And then, you go to the red carpet, and it's like, there's Dua Lipa in front of you, there's, Lizzo behind you. You don't know, everybody's somebody.
Sure.
But I'm just happy that we had a moment.
Yeah.
And Alia looked just resplendent.
Totally.
She was just glowing and so comfortable with herself that... Yeah, but I'm happy it's done.
You nailed that.
Thank you.
Absolutely nailed that.
Thank you so much.
Everyone's been saying that, so that was a
Thank
great
you.
one. Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
So that puts you in the public eye a lot. A lot. Does it get to you at times?
It does, but I have to say that my big events like the Met Galas, even with Natasha Poonawalla last year, seem to have scored.
That was a great
So I think I'm in a good space.
Yeah.
But it does get to me. Like, sometimes when I do promotions for people and they're like, "Oh my God, what was the stylist thinking?" And I'm just like, why? Obviously, she was thinking it was good. Why else did she do it?
Exactly.
Someone thought it was good. Either the actor or the stylist thought it was good.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that's also that's somebody else's job. That's what they do. They're there to critique. So it's okay.
No, but you yourself being, you're for what? At least 20 years now. You've been at fashion weeks, across the world, I guess. And you're out there. You have to be there at every brand event, because I see you everywhere as well. We run into each other all the time. Does that get to you? Is that
no?
Are you still enjoying it?
I'm still enjoying it, but I pick and choose where to be.
Right.
I don't need to be everywhere anymore, right? Earlier, when you hold a position like a fashion director, you have to go everywhere.
You have to be
now I can choose where I want to go. I can pop in and out.
Right.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And also because, actually a lot has changed because I don't have an office job.
Yeah.
So that used to drain you. A lot of your energy went in that, and then you don't want to go home and change. Now I might be chilling one day and then going out, or I might be at a shoot and I'm like, okay, I'm looking fine. I'm just going to go the way I am.
Right.
There's no pressure.
Yeah.
So you tend to enjoy yourself a lot more, and you can wake up late the next day if you decide. It's just your life and your world. And I love that.
But
I
that's
love
great.
that flexibility.
But that's the great
Yeah.
part about your work and your the way you do it as
Yeah.
well is that no 2 days are alike.
No.
That's beautiful.
Never.
And I love that about
Yeah.
about what we do.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you have the leeway to suddenly say, listen, I'm going to sleep in today.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I've decided I'm going to take a holiday June and July and hang with my kids and I'm going to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I may work 2 or 3 days if I
Right.
really want to.
Right.
But that's
Right.
my choice.
See, yeah. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when I could do just that, but with Wild now, I don't. My co-founders will wake me up and.
Well,
take me to
you
work.
have a fledgling, so you have to let it grow.
Exactly. But is there anything that you kind of miss from the time when it was quieter, or when it was when you were at either the publications? Or
Well, I have to say, I mean, it's very clear that editorial is my first love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because
More than styling.
I mean, styling editorials.
Oh, styling editorials.
Styling
but
fashion
right.
editorials.
Okay. But now you're doing more film and.
No, I do fashion as well. I do other magazines as well. But when you're doing it constantly and the onus is on you
Yeah.
for a magazine to look great and to be consistently relevant,
Yeah.
I loved that.
Right.
I totally loved
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But the process of styling and finishing a shoot, I love that
Right.
part of it.
Right.
And also the fact that you work with some of the best in the business
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So it's such a privilege to work with like the best in the business, the best in the world in their
imagine.
business, right? It's so gratifying. And the beautiful thing is that when you're doing an editorial, you're the captain.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
it's
you
all
have
on
that.
you, but also you have that freedom.
Sure.
So I really enjoyed that a lot.
Right. In this journey, then, and it's been a super colorful journey.
has been.
It's been an amazing
Yeah.
journey. Who would you say has been an inspiration to you?
Actually, my inspirations have been pretty varied.
Right.
But I think my fashion inspiration started with my own family.
Oh yeah.
Like my parents were these really cool, 70s-y kids.
Right, okay.
Who wore like, my mom wore flared jeans and these like forest print shirts,
Right.
tight fitted, and always had long metallic nails and
Right.
6-inch heels. My dad had this like amazing corduroy jacket that I still have.
Right.
And my grandparents were extremely stylish.
Right.
Like my mom's dad only ever wore suits.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And he went to the races and
Yeah.
he actually ran the first men's bespoke tailoring shop in Mumbai.
Really?
So as a kid I used to go and hang out there.
Wow.
So and my grandmother was very stylish. She only ever wore black.
Right.
You know,
Wow.
so it's
Okay.
really been quite a
Yeah.
diverse influence. So I think they're the ones who kind of probably started something in my brain
Right.
and then the rest filled in the gaps.
That's amazing. But anyone that you've met over the last 2-3 decades that you
I've
think
met.
would be?
I mean, I don't know if
impacted
anyone's
you?
influenced me, but there are people that I've loved working with.
Yeah.
Like I loved working with Kim.
Yeah.
Styling her was just so amazing.
Right.
She was excited about the Indian designers, and we had Sabya and Anamika and Gautier Couture,
Right.
and it was just nice to see how someone
Yeah.
of her stature and her popularity being so humble and professional.
Was she? Right, okay.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Giselle again was amazing.
I can imagine.
Just a dream come
Yeah.
true. Katy Perry was fun, super fun. I mean, when a hot Mumbai summer day
Right.
at the dock, and she didn't complain, and she did her
Really?
8 changes. And the thing is about again having fun.
Of course.
So yeah, I think I've been influenced by the way people work.
Right.
But otherwise,
Yeah.
I get influenced by everything.
Oh,
I'll be
really?
honest with you.
Right,
I'm not
okay.
saying I'm not influenced. I'm influenced by anything.
Right.
Like watching you today will influence me. It'll come in my work somewhere.
Right,
That's how it
right,
is.
Right. Nice. I love that.
Yeah.
But what's the one thing that you think has helped you remain grounded in all of this? I mean, you work in the entertainment industry where there's no semblance of being grounded.
True. I think, like I was saying earlier, I've never thought of myself as a celebrity.
Right.
I'm not.
Right.
I think of myself as a professional, very important.
Yeah.
Also,
I have to defer there,
no, it's true.
unfortunately.
Also, our household is very starstruck.
Right.
In any
Sure.
way. Like my kids don't know actors' names or anything.
Oh, really? Okay.
They probably know, what's that? Anime, but
Right,
not
right.
films.
Right, okay.
If they've encountered actors, it's because it's our place of work,
Right.
and they've happened to meet that person
Right,
or
right.
whatever. So we're a very level-headed household.
Okay.
And I think if I ever were to have behaved starry, my friends would have brought me
down.
Right down.
Right.
Because my friends are friends that I've had since I was very young,
Right.
and we don't bullshit each other.
Right.
So, yeah.
But homie's in the movie business as
Yeah.
well, so that kind of brings that whole limelight into your house in different ways. You do it in your way, but he does.
But
as well, right?
honestly,
But
it just doesn't.
No.
No.
That's great. That's awesome.
It really doesn't. We have a simple home and a simple life. We don't go out that much, and
Amazing.
yeah.
But that's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Listen, this has been so much fun. I could keep going.
Thank you. No, thank you so much.
No, but you know what? Now that you are like a bona fide influencer,
Okay.
let's do what influencers do.
Let's do it.
Let's create a
What
reel.
are we doing? Okay. Okay.
All right. It's time for the Wild Drum Reel of the Day. You guys stay tuned.
Next. Next. Next.
Damn.
Nice. Nice. Okay. Right. Change.
Highly.
Heels.
It's a blooper. It's a blooper.
Yeah.
It's a,
I love these
Rubbish.
boy band poses.
Exactly.
nice.
That was so much fun. Thank you for
you.
doing that
It
reel
was,
with
it
me.
was.
And
Thank
thank
you.
you so very much for being here.
My
I
pleasure.
so appreciate it.
My pleasure.
As a little token of our appreciation, this is a little
Aw.
gift box from
Thank
Wild
you.
Drum.
Thank you. That looks
our-
lovely.
my partner.
And it's heavy.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
bunch
excited.
of hard seltzers.
Okay.
It's a local, vegan, gluten-free alcoholic beverage.
Oh, interesting. Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, I will see you soon.
Absolutely.
The Accidental Influencer is presented by WYLD, a Visa-powered payment card that allows anyone with as little as 1,000 followers to encash their influence with every purchase. It's as simple as buy, post, and earn. This show is powered by Wild Drum, India's first hard seltzer brand, a low-cal, vegan, and gluten-free alcoholic beverage. We're shooting at the gorgeous Koi Bar at the Penthouse at the St. Regis, Mumbai, our venue partner for the Accidental Influencer. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and share it, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more of the Accidental Influencer, and follow @GetWild on Instagram to know more about Wild. I will see you in the next episode.